Hello there, Insta Lovelies. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate and one of the leading coaches in the country because I love every Tuesday to come out here, say hello to you, my lovelies, my girlfriends who love design as much as I do. We put a pin in it here at our luxury design company, and I come out here and I talk to you about what's on your designing mind. And I also teach a lesson on something. And we've got an amazing year planned for you. And starting with today, this Facebook Live, we're going to be kind of starting with an overview. And as we take you through the journey for the year, we're going to drill down into more and more specific topics. But today we're going to be talking about design fear, decorating fear, what's holding you back. And I'm getting hellos and waves. It's so good to be back here with you. Happy New Year. I'm trying to get my Insta picture right there. So good to be back here with you. I had a nice long 2 weeks off. My hair is still on vacation. Could not bring myself to straighten it out again this morning. I got to tell you, a little piece of me thinking I'm getting a little tired of hiding. This is actually what my hair wants to do. I thought, I should just go public. I have this wacky, crazy hair, you know, wavy kind of thing. What else am I hiding from everybody? I'm an empath. I'm tired of hiding that. And what else am I hiding? My chicken neck. I'm starting to have a chicken neck. It is what it is. Just starts happening once you hit that certain age. Other than that, everything else is good. All right, so decorating fear. Let's talk about what is it that holds you back when you are looking at this brand new year, 2020. What is it you really want to create in your home? And what didn't you do in 2019 because you were too afraid? And let's face it, whether it's interior design or any part of your life, what can you create from that place, from that space of feeling afraid, uncertain, overwhelmed, unconfident? Nothing good can be created. And when you do create from that space, it never is quite as good as it could be, right? And you have so much suffering as you're doing it all. In fact, I was doing some journaling. I'm a big journaler. And I was kind of working on an exercise with this great life coaching program I'm in. And one of the exercises was to write out your life story, you know, in 7 pages. So how much of a life story could it be? But I started to see a theme about how every new undertaking I took on, I did it with fear, but it worked out anyway. But why bring all that fear along with you? With interior design, fear actually will stop your beautiful results from happening. So what are the different kinds of fears that you guys get into, that I see my students get into, that I see our clients get into before they come to us? So one very common fear is this indecision, where just everything looks good in your selections that you're looking at for your new XYZ room you're doing, or nothing looks good. You just can't make a decision. Or you start to, I'm getting hearts on that one. Or you start to think you're making headway, and then if you look at a group of selections, maybe for a new kitchen you're doing, if you stare at it long enough, you start to convince yourself, oh my gosh, I think this is terrible, right? You just get into this indecision point where either everything looks good or nothing looks good. And that always leads to overwhelm. Always. Another really common fear point is just being in that state of total confusion. You just don't know what you don't know, and that's overwhelming in and of itself, but you feel confused about where to start because to you, design seems like this nebulous thing, this amorphous, shapeless thing. And honestly, guys, it's not. When you do design right, interior design is so strategic, and it is formulaic. I'm telling you, it is. It's like cooking. It's like baking. I give that analogy a lot in my workshops, but it's true. It's pulling together certain ingredients in a certain order, right, and following a recipe. So if you are in that confused state, chances are you are in idea overload. I can recall before I was an interior designer, practiced and trained and award-winning, I remember being a DIY design lover like you, and I remember feeling overwhelmed. I remember Steve and I were trying to do our great room, and I just bounced from idea to idea, and depended on what store we were in. You know, this salesperson said this and this salesperson said that, and you know, I would just kind of get blown in any direction, and the outcome that we got ultimately was kind of meh. I never loved the result that I was getting, and I was always struggling to try to correct it. And I remember when I first became a practicing designer, I was overwhelmed because I hadn't figured out in design school, they didn't teach us what type of path to follow. They taught us methodology, but they didn't even put it into strategy. It was once I started to see how reliable design strategy was and how reliable a path was that life got a lot easier. So if you're in design overwhelm, I have a great blog post. I still have more to teach on this, but I have a great blog post that will walk you through an exercise, a great exercise that's going to help you drill into your specific fear points, your specific strengths, and what to do about it. And I put a link in that in my Facebook description and Instagram. What are we doing for Instagram? How do they find it?
It's in our
it's in our bio. We are that on top of things here. Anyway, so then what is the other big thing that drives fear for design lovers that will crush your outcome? Confidence problems. Gotta tell you, confidence is absolutely mission critical for a beautiful design result to happen. One of the problems with newbie designers is that they're not confident, and your clients are already coming to you, they're already confused. So they're confused and they're joining with possibly a new designer who's feeling non-confident. Here's the thing. If you are using good strategy as a new designer or as a designer or as a design lover, you lean into that strategy, you lean back into that strategy, and that's what supports you through so that you know every single decision you're making is going to lead to something great. I'm getting all kinds of thumbs up and hearts on this, but it's true. Every little decision you're making will build and build to that final end point in that whatever XYZ room it is. I don't care what your style is. If you're boho, if you're transitional, traditional, modern, farmhouse, it doesn't matter. It's using strategy is what gives you confidence. And there is an absolute truism that when you are lacking confidence in design, you can't make a decision. Whatever decisions you're making are not going to be cohesive, and your outcome is never, ever, ever going to be as beautiful as it could be. Now, that said, I know that designers like watching my videos and my Facebook Lives as well, and I want to give you some very comforting words, whether you're a designer or a DIY design lover. Everything I'm saying is true, but I will add the caveat that it's very normal when any designer starts a new project. Two things happen. First is, oh, I can't wait to do this project. I get it. I know what this project should be. And then you sign it and you think, wait a minute, what the hell am I going to do with this room? Or what am I going to do with this home? And then you dive in and then you start to see it. Big difference between a professional designer and a DIY design lover is that DIY design lovers tend to look at spaces or blueprints and you see what's there. Whereas the more you do it, design is a practiced and trained thing, but with professional designers, we look at a room and we see what's possible. When I look at if I'm standing in a kitchen with a client that wants to redo the kitchen, I don't even see the current space plan that's there. I see what an optimal space plan would be. So it is, well, I tell you this to let you know that it's normal that even an accomplished designer can look at a new project, something they've never done before, working with a new client, and for a moment have that little, and then they release and they move into it, knowing I've got strategy, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do this, and then they just start to see what needs to happen in the project, okay? So design fear is normal. There is nothing wrong with you if you're a design lover feeling overwhelmed or frightened or out of your depth on something. Very normal. There is nothing wrong with you. You've got the smarts, you've got the brains. You're missing strategy. I'm willing to bet that you're missing strategy. But anyway, definitely check out that blog post because, like I said, I walk you through a great exercise that will get you more specifically focused on where you need to build some muscle. But for now, I'm going to give you a different assignment. Let's have you focus after this Facebook Live is over. Itchy nose, hang on. Let's have you focus on your project. The blog post helps you focus on you as the designer of your project. But let's have you focus on the project itself. When you have some free time, maybe tonight, cup of tea after dinner, or maybe in a couple of days over the weekend, I want you to get out a journal. Told you I was a big journaler, or a notepad, and I want you to write about the room that you want to redo this year, or the project you want to do this year in 2020. What is the room? Name it. I want you to write out what you already love about that space. If it's architecture or if there's furniture in there that's staying, what don't you like? What would you like to change? When would you like to see this project start? When would you like to see this project completed? But get it out of you and onto your paper, okay? Then read the blog post where you're going to do an exercise that's all about you, right? You need the space, the project, and then there's you. And that blog post will help move you through some things, okay? So I think I have pretty much shared with you the lesson that I wanted to share with you today. Next, I invite you to tell me, I'd love to know what it is that makes you afraid in design. Feel free to share that with me. What makes your knees knock? What makes you feel loopy and frightened in design? You can put that into the comment section. And to kick off the year, I'm also happy to take your project questions today. As long as I don't need to see a picture to be able to answer you well, I am happy to take your questions. Instagram, Katie will be watching for your questions that you're sending in, and Facebook, I'll be scrolling down as well. So send those questions in now while I am live, because I will not be coming back to this video, which will be posted on our YouTube. I won't be coming back to answer the questions that I'm asking you to put in now. Okay, does that make sense? I don't even know if that made sense. All right. Got more hearts, so it made sense to somebody. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's see what everybody's saying. Okay, Judy's telling me that the Gold Bond neck cream does wonders. Judy's trying to save me from chicken neck. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate it. Mwah, and hugs to you. Joan is saying that she's making big strides in design thanks to Design CPR. Oh my gosh, the Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms with Accessories, is one of my favorite courses that we have online in our online course offerings. So Joan, I'm so glad it's working for you. That's awesome. Great, great. Ruth is saying hello and Happy New Year. Hello to you and Happy New Year to you as well, Ruth. Patty's saying hi. I'm getting a lot of highs and hellos. Hello from wonderful Jennifer McCann. Kay is saying hi, Donna. She has fear of making a mistake. Yeah, so those design mistakes are costly. And I got to tell you, when I thought we lost a bid on a job. I thought we got underbid by another designer. And as soon as that exercise ended, I heard 2 nightmare stories about this designer. And the mistakes that she made were costly. And those mistakes, how did I learn about this? Some contractors that we work with mentioned it. And whenever they mention a designer horror story, I always say, don't tell me the designer, I don't want to know. But in these 2 cases, they both blurted out this same woman, the same designer. Those mistakes happened because she didn't have process and she didn't have path. So I'm telling you, whether you're a DIY design lover, whether you're a professional designer, if you have path and process, it's like having a little safety net under the acrobatic trapeze, peeps. So if you do fall, you don't break anything or kill yourself. So fear of making a mistake, Kay, is a big one. And mistakes in design are costly. Either you'll live with it for a long time, hating it, just sucks the lifeblood out of you. And if you're an empath or a sensitive like I am, definitely your environment absolutely affects who you are and how you feel. So those costly mistakes, they stink because they really can suck the lifeblood out of you. And also, you either live with it or you pay to correct it. I had a woman call our company yesterday, and she ended up eating custom window treatments because a bad mistake happened on them, and custom, you own it. And she didn't make some good selections with the window workroom she was working with. So I get it. I get that fear of making a mistake. Kay, you need strategy. and I know that you are working toward that. And the more you rely on and lean into strategy, the more you can let go of that fear of making a mistake, because you'll be able to look back at your history, Kay, that, oh my gosh, yeah, I felt afraid of making a mistake, but look at what I created. I didn't end up making a mistake because I'm using strategy now. So Jen is saying Happy New Year, getting hellos from Kelly, more hellos and happy signs from Judy. Hello, everybody. Shelly is saying she's a design chicken. Shelly, I want you to do that little exercise I gave you in this Facebook Live, and I want you to go to that blog post that we posted, Shelly, and we're going to unchicken you, all righty? No No need for you to be a design chicken because you are a smart and brilliant woman and talented, more talented than you realize. Every single one of you more talented than you even realize. And it's strategy that actually unleashes that talent and focuses that talent and focuses your thinking. Joan is saying she has analysis paralysis. I keep telling myself that I can always reverse a design decision, but it's hard to internalize. It is hard to reverse a design decision once you've paid the painter to put the paint up. Yes, everything, just about everything is fixable. But, you know, when you're in a renovation, when you're putting nail to wood, when you're plunking down hundreds, thousands of dollars, whatever you're working on in your project, it definitely, you don't want a costly mistake. And trust me, I get what that feels like. I do. Because before I was doing what I do professionally, I was walking where you are now, right now. And I know what that feels like to just, you put the order through at the store and you think, oh my gosh, did I screw up on that sofa? And you can't rely on well-meaning design salespeople in stores to get it right, because I've seen them screw up because they weren't using strategy, right? So, okay. Jennifer is saying, Jen McLeod is saying, I find it hard to hang art. I have framed, oh, Jen, I just wrote the greatest article on artwork. It's going to be published locally here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia region in April. But I will make sure that we promote that because it is such a great lesson. I thought, oh, I should write this. I should publish this to my peeps, my design divas. Okay, back to Jen McLeod's question. I find it hard to hang art. I have framed artwork that I love, but when I try to put artwork on the walls nearby, they compete. Yes. How do you avoid competing artwork in the same room? Jen, this is such a great question. And this would be great for a live workshop where I'm teaching with visuals. Jen, I don't know if you're one of my students. I apologize if you are and I don't recognize your name. But if you have taken any of my courses where I teach about how patterns work together, right? You have to kind of think about your artwork in terms of its subject matter, its color, its texture and pattern. And yeah, everything does not look good next to everything else. Now, in an uber modern, uber minimalist interior, white walls, very, very neutral furnishings, that's where the artwork really moves forward and you can see a very eclectic mix. But once you get into a color story in a room, yeah, the artwork you put in there affects it. You either want to support the story of that room or you want to add a counterpoint. Now, what do I mean by that? So, like I said in this great article I wrote that I loved, is it okay that you love your own articles? The editor loved my article too. So I gave the example on this very point, Jennifer, that let's say you have a neutral interior and it's kind of a transitional style and you put a piece of modern artwork in it with a lot of color. You will have taken that transitional interior and made it lean more modern because of the art you've added to it. If you have a black and white interior and you add a piece of black and white artwork, what you're doing instead is not creating a counterpoint. You are supporting the existing palette and the existing vibe, right? So when you think about putting artwork together, Jen, just like I've given this example before, you have, you know, your favorite shirt, your favorite blouse, your favorite pants, your favorite dress, your favorite skirt, your favorite shoes, your favorite handbag, all your favorites are hanging in your closet. They don't necessarily look good together, right? They may need some space between them, like this one's on Thursday, this one I wear on Saturday. So with your artwork, you want to think about what works in tandem, not matching, but what is in good conversation? What sits happily together? Is it a color palette that makes them sit well in your, I don't know, your boho interior or your farmhouse interior? Is it the subject matter that makes them work well together? Framing counts. You know, I definitely pay attention to what kind of framing choices I put into the same room. Or frameless. Sometimes you don't want to frame, and that's an important choice as well. So Jen, without visuals, I hope I've helped you a little bit. And you know, we'll let you know when that article publishes. I kind of want to release it to you now, but I can't. I gave it to this magazine. All right, question from Insta. Oh, no question from Insta. Final two questions. It's my high-tech note from Katie. Final two questions. Okay, here we go. Mary is saying, any ideas to update a kitchen without going gray? Warm tones? Well, Mary, I take it that you want to paint your cabinetry, or you didn't give me a lot of information. I mean, the white kitchen is still out there. It's the easiest, fastest update. people either love the white kitchen or they don't like the white kitchen. For some people, the white kitchen is too sterile. For some people, the white kitchen is just too, it's out there, it's everywhere, it's done before. So I don't think you have to go into gray to update a kitchen at all. We are starting to see the white kitchen is evolving. It's turning into a warmer white. We're seeing more stained woods being mixed with that white kitchen. We're seeing woven, like, oh gosh, not wicker. What's the word I'm looking for? Not rush, caning and wicker. Woven wickers coming into the kitchens as well. So Mary, you can think about, if you're not changing your cabinet color, you can think about adding, updating your furniture, updating your lighting, updating the materials that you've put in there in terms of furniture. Frankly, that's the first update I'll be doing in my kitchen when I'm ready to spend the money on that. I will not be redoing my cabinetry. First update will be lighting and furniture and window treatments. Try morphing that way, Mary, see if that helps you. Debbie is saying, any recommendations for a 3D design tool DIYers can use? Oh, what do all of our design divas love? Icovia. I think
No, 2D.
That's 2D?
I don't know 3D off the top of my head.
3D, we do not know off the top of our head.
Free.
Not free, anyway. That's what Katie's, I have a little person talking in my ear over there. Yeah, so if anybody's got one, though, please pop it in there. Darcy, I love that name, Darcy Donahue. Darcy Donahue, that is a great name. That sounds like a talk show host. I love it, Darcy Donahue. Darcy is saying, I have 2 large niches on either side of our fireplace. Without spending thousands for custom cabinetry, what would you recommend for these spaces? I currently have vintage shutters in them, but they don't fill the space. Darcy, I want to see a picture, honestly. I have at times advised students to just drywall over those niches because they can be a royal pain in the neck. They have a pre-prescribed depth, and yet there's all this height you have to fill. And in the accessory world, as I teach in my Design CPR course about how to create great spaces with accessories, the taller the accessory gets, the wider it gets. And so you start spilling past these niches. I had a client adamantly want a niche in his new home build last year. It took us 2 years to design this home. And we did a custom sculpture in there because we needed something tall but narrow. I am not a niche lover for that reason. They are tough to work with. Kay's saying thank you. Shelly's saying thank you. Oops, what did I do there? I did something weird. Something happened. I don't know. Joan is saying great tips for hanging wall art. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Oh, in the CPR course, I think that's what you mean, Joan. Thank you either way. Insta question. What is the max size for a sectional in a 16 by 18 room? I can't even do that in my head. I would need to space plan you, my love. Spoiled Angel, Spoiled Angel 718. Oh, do I want to meet you now? I love your handle. You need to learn about space planning. Spoiled Angel 718. No good room will ever come together without a space plan. I don't care if you draw it to scale on 1/4-inch paper. I don't care if you use a free program like Icovia or a paid program like, I don't know, Minutes Matter. There is no amount of money you could pay me ever, as a professional designer to design a room for anyone, myself included, without doing a drawn space plan. Spoiled Angel 718, this is your year. Learn to do a space plan so you know you buy the right size sofa, you have the right room to move around it. Everything else you put into that room works because you have already mapped it out on paper. You're afraid of making mistakes? You should be if you're not doing a drawn space plan. There you go. Sorry for the finger wagging. It's getting passionate. More thank yous. Debbie Park is saying she's willing to pay for a 3D. Chief Architect. That's a good one.
SketchUp.
Huh?
SketchUp.
And SketchUp also. Thank you. Any recommendations for tools to measure, i.e. apps and lasers? Erin wants to know that. Erin, I'm old school. Give me my tape measure and measure it in inches, because you're going to be, if you are doing space plans drawn, you have to convert it to inches. I believe in measuring twice, cutting once, especially if money is involved. I like apps. Gosh, I've got something on my phone where I can, what were we using? Remember that We had something we were playing with.
Now I know it's cam to plan.
Cam to plan is one, but I just think there are certain things old school is better. So sorry, being an old fuddy-duddy on that one. Sorry, Erin. Hope you still love us. Linda's saying SketchUp is 3D, and you can get a free trial as well as online lessons. Thank you, Linda McCone. Linda's the best. And then my last comment here coming in from Batul Abbas. My house has a dual staircase. What would be a good decor for that area? There's not space for a round table in the middle. I have a great idea for you. You're not going to like it because it's going to be custom, but what you can do is have a custom bench built that hugs that curve. Really good looking. You could do one on the inside of each of those staircases, or just one on one side. Just pretty pillows. There it is. You're done. Because very often with those beautiful twin staircases, there is not the proper space for a center hall table, and that's really what you're talking about, Batul. So that's a great question, because Batul's thinking in terms of what will fit. That's good. All right, lovely. So what are we talking about next week? These were great questions. Next week, we're going to dive into an actual topic on artwork. Thank you. It is the 3 common artwork mistakes that never allow Pinterest beautiful results to happen. The 3 common artwork mistakes that never allow Pinterest beautiful results to happen. There it is. We've got great stuff planned for you all year. We're going to be talking about the dreaded recliner and what's going on in the world of recliners. We're going to be talking about kitchen design, master bedroom design. I'm going to give you a quick little sneak peek. Where to start your design project, common color mistakes for walls, how to avoid them. What do you hate buying more, upholstery or wood furniture, and how to get out of that? Why window treatment shopping stinks. We don't say it quite as beautiful a way there, but I'll clean it up right now, make it G-rated. Should you become an interior designer? Are you thinking about becoming an interior designer? Color trends, the torture of furniture you already own, and more. We've got some great Facebook Lives planned for you this year. Now, you asked for these topics, we're giving them to you. If you missed this Facebook Live from the beginning, of course, it'll live on Instagram for about 24 hours. On Facebook, it kind of goes through the feed. But if you missed it and you want to go back and review, take notes on anything, by all means, find us on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, The Interior Design Advocate on YouTube. See all of our videos, not just our Facebook Lives, but all of the other great videos that we put out. And if you are not already following us on Instagram, girlfriend, what are you doing? Find us at decorating.genius, at decorating.genius to find us on Instagram. Okay, lovelies, next week we're diving into artwork. So I will see you Tuesday, 4 p.m. right here. In the meantime, have a great week and Happy New Year, everyone. It's so good to be back with you. See you later.